In this video, I'll explain how to detect motion from a video and convert it into particles using pops. Also, the version I made into a TOX and turned into a tool is available on my Patreon, so please feel free to use it if you're interested. This project is made up of the following sections. Optical Flow Setup, Particle Flow Setup, Color Lookup and Particle Instancing, Rendering and Post-FX. On this channel, I also post short tutorial videos mainly focused on TouchDesigner. I'd be glad if you subscribe to the channel. Project files and exclusive files are also available on Patreon. If you found this tutorial helpful, I would greatly appreciate your support there. We're going to add a movie file in top and load any video you like. Open the Palette tab, and add Optical Flow. This converts the motion vectors of the input video into the red and green channels. This is a simple visualization of the concept. Set the optical flow threshold to any value you like. We're going to add a null top and connect it to the top to POP. Later, we will use the original video color on the pop particles, so add the text attribute to the top to POP. We're going to add a delete pop, enter color, 0, and delete the black points. We're going to add a particle POP, enter any value you like for maximum particles. Reference the maximum particles value to birth rate, and divide it by 2. Set life expect, which controls the particle lifetime, to 1. Then set life variance, which randomizes the timing of particle death, to 0.5. We're going to add a keyboard in chop and reference it to initialize and start on the particle POP. This allows us to reset the feedback when we create the feedback loop, by pressing 1 on the keyboard. Move to the Attributes tab, and enter color and text. Color will be used to calculate the force applied to the particles, and text will be used for coloring. We're going to add a math mix pop and rename it Flow. To create a constant value used for calculating the force applied to the particles, go to the Uniforms tab and enter Flow Scale in name. Move to the Combine tab. First, convert the color information into X and Y information. Then multiply it by the particle lifetime, so the particle movement becomes smaller as it moves farther away from the outline of the image. Also, by multiplying this force by a negative value, the force will spread outward from the outline of the image. We're going to add a noise pop and rename it Curl. This adds a small amount of noise to the force applied to the particles. Drag and drop curl onto the particle pop, and create a feedback loop. To make each particle smaller as it moves farther away from the outline of the image, we're going to add a math mix pop and rename it part scale. Subtract partage from the life expect value of the particle POP. This makes the particle size smaller as it gets closer to the end of its lifetime. We're going to add a random pop and add a small amount of randomness to the particle size. Enter any values you like for value A and value B. Now that we have finished calculating the force using the color information, we're going to bring back the original color information from the video. We're going to add a lookup texture pop and a select top. Drag and drop the original video onto the select top. Then drag and drop the select top onto the lookup texture POP. To delete the black particles, we're going to add a delete POP enter color, 0. Set value to any value you like, and create a threshold. We're going to add a circle POP change connectivity to surface. To make the process lighter, set divisions to 16. To make the particles smaller, set uniform scale to 0.0005. We're going to add a copy POP. On the Template tab, enter the part scale attribute we created earlier into Template Scale. Then move to the Template Attributes tab, add color, and copy the color information. To render the particles, we're going to add a geometry comp and a camera comp. Set the camera comp so that the rendered view shows the same area as the original video. We're going to add a constant MAT and drag and drop it onto the geometry comp. We're going to add a render top and render the scene. We're going to add a select top, and drag and drop the original video onto the select top. We're going to add a composite top. Change operation to over so that the particles are placed on top of the original video. At this point, make sure the input order of the composite top is correct. Input 0 should be the render top, and input 1 should be the select top. To draw the trails of the particles, we're going to add a feedback top, a level top, and a composite top. Drag and drop the composite top onto the feedback top. Enter any value you like for opacity on the level top. Drag and drop the keyboard and chop onto reset pulse on the feedback top. By changing values such as value on the delete pop, value A and value B on the random pop, period and amplitude on the noise pop named curl, flow scale on the math mix pop named flow, maximum particles on the particle pop, and force and threshold on optical flow. You can adjust the particle movement however you like. We're going to add a bloom top.